Whew, the end of the week. Hello. Please announce yourself when you come into the room. Hello. Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Live. Hello, you guys. Please say hello. Please announce yourself. I don't know if I want the banner to tick. Or do I want it to stay? So let me know which one. Should I keep it like this or should I do it like this? I like that way. What do y'all think? Hey, hi, mom is in the house. Hello, hi, butterfly effect. Hi, get out. Hey, Brenda, nice, Miss Brenda, nice meeting you. First time here, I think. My mom is in the house. You guys, I have an Elwanda story, so hold on. What's up from Georgia? Hi. Um, hey Daphne. I don't know, parts of me miss Atlanta, but then the other parts I think about all of the violence. I definitely miss the trees. And I'm like, I can't. Hi, girl. I'm gonna reach out to you because when I tell you, you, Yolanda, when I tell you, be having me just in stitches. So I'm gonna reach out to you. Hey, girl. Hey. Uh, Hi. Oh, okay. It's your welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Um, I know where you at. I know where you are. All right, you guys. Hello, welcome so much. My name is Tracie Collins, and this is Friday Night Live, where I talk about on my YouTube channel. I discuss all things business, wellness, and my life here in Mexico. I live in San Miguel de Allende, the beautiful San Miguel de Allende, and yeah. So, you guys, I will be honest with you tonight. I had something else scheduled. I was going to do like a whole business model breakdown and how to structure business models from like business to business and business to consumer. And I was like, I don't want to talk about that. I feel like I've been in my head all week and I just did not want to think like that. I did not want to sit here and like conceptualize and be tutorial tonight. So I really wanted to do something fun, something light-hearted. Hey, girl, hey. I just got the information, so I'm gonna send it to you, Janae. Um, so put a cube in front of your questions because I want to get like all of your questions. But so that's why I decided to do like a pick my brain night because I was like, I don't know, I couldn't really think of anything. I have like 4 weeks of scheduled content or scheduled lives. And I was like, I don't want to do any of those. So this is something that I literally came up with this afternoon and we just gonna have a lighthearted night tonight, okay? So, yay! Hey, girl. Yes, yes, yes. I'm glad you're here too. I can't wait to see you. Um, all right, y'all. So I am going to start answering some questions. Just so you guys who don't know, I started scouting. Just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I started scouting Mexico starting in 2022, coming back and forth. This is for my move abroad people. Starting in 2022, we have been to in total probably 10 different parts of the country, but as far as scouting is concerned, it was 9 or 8, one of the two. So I have a lot to answer and offer when it comes to different parts of Mexico when you are considering moving abroad. Now, from the business side, I have been in the entrepreneurial field. For those of you guys who don't know, for well over 2 decades, I am a women's health expert, and I was deemed one of the top 9 Black women by the Griot to um, change women's wellness, especially for Black women in history. So just to kind of shed some light on that, I really don't want to talk too much about it, but I have created businesses and sold businesses, and business strategy is really where I part of where I thrive. But I didn't feel like being brainy tonight. I just really wanted to just talk to you guys. You guys get to know me and us have a conversation amongst yourselves. Some of you guys may know each other, some of you guys may not. If this is your first time here, thank you guys so much for being here. And drop your questions. So, whatever you guys have questions about, I definitely want to have that kind of intimate conversation with you tonight. Okay, so we have our first question from Daphne. What's the best airport to fly into to get to SMA? So there's two airports here in San Miguel de Allende, well, near San Miguel de Allende. One is BJX, which is Leon. The other one is QTO, which is Querétaro. Querétaro is about 45 minutes away, about an hour away from San Miguel de Allende, and Leon is about an hour and a half, give or take, depending upon traffic and how fast the shuttle driver decides to drive. So those are the two closest airports. And if you are in Georgia and you live on the outskirts trying to get to Hartsfield Jackson Airport, you understand what that's like, contingent upon traffic in Atlanta. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just talk about Elwanda. Okay, I got an Elwanda story. For those of you guys who don't know, Elwanda is my mom. Okay, and how many of you guys have experienced or are experiencing raising your parents? They are so hard headed. They don't listen. They are stubborn. And my mom has a great sense of deflection. If you don't know what that means, is she does things she's not supposed to do. And if you call her on it, she deflects the conversation away from her. She'll ask questions. How's the weather? What are you eating? She'll do all kind of things to divert the attention away from her. So every Friday, Elwanda is here. So this week, my Elwanda story is, y'all. So my daughter went out to lunch or dinner with her grandparents, my mom and my stepdad, but my dad, they've been married forever. And my stepdad started not to feel well. He went to the car. He ends up as they're coming out, ends up getting sick and passing out and all of these things. Now, mind you, y'all, our parents are in their 70s, okay? And if any of you guys are raising your parents, you understand my frustration. So thank God Kayla is there. Kayla is about this big, but probably seriously one of the most strongest people that I know. So Kayla ends up telling us this whole story about what happened and how, he was sick and, almost passed out and hit the ground. See, I haven't had this full conversation with Elwanda because I wanted Elwanda to tell me. But do you guys think Elwanda told me? No. I gave Elwanda plenty opportunities this week to tell me what happened. And Elwanda was evasive. What does she do? She is the master of deflection. So she did what she does best, which is, change the conversation. And so Kayla calls her mom the next day, tells her mother, me, the whole story. And so I call my mom later on that day and I'm like, hey, Mom, how's it going? How you doing? How was, because Kayla was there the day before. How was your time with Kayla? Anything happened? No. We're fine. Everything's good. Anything you want to share? No. So I said to her, okay. I said, okay, Elwanda. Well, I think it's good that you guys get, some medical alert bracelets just in case. She said, we've tried that, but yeah, we didn't like the service. So no, that's a conversation for another day. I said, okay. I said, well, when's the other day? She said, tomorrow, y'all. This tomorrow was Monday when I had the conversation with her. Monday. Yeah. Or maybe it was Tuesday. I called her the next day. I asked her the same question. So, Mom, you ready to have the conversation? Tomorrow. We are here on Friday, you guys. I just talked to her less than 2 hours ago. Tomorrow. So please tell me, have you guys experienced this is mom in the house, like seriously. Have you guys experienced raising parents? I mean, please give me advice. I don't know what to do with her. She doesn't listen. She eats things she's not supposed to eat. She doesn't necessarily do what she's supposed to do. Um, and she is notorious. Even like my friend group here, Bobby and Alan can attest. Like Elwanda is notorious for saying, "It wasn't me." So I said I was going to give you guys a weekly update with her. And this is my weekly update with her. So thank goodness Kayla was there and Kayla is there, but that is Elwanda for you. Okay, so let me get back to the questions because I'm going to start starring questions. Okay, so let's get back to her question. Since you are a foodie fan, why not favorite recipes? What do you mean? Oh, giving you guys favorite. So some of you guys don't know, I'm a big foodie and I actually have a culinary degree from Le Cordon Bleu and I don't use it. I don't use it. And I think ever since I went to culinary school, which is almost 20 years ago, I hate to cook. I hate to cook, but I really got that degree because I was working in the with women and catching babies, and I noticed that especially Black women were having difficulties with their nutrition. We weren't as knowledgeable with nutrition and balanced meals and things like that when it came to birthing bodies. So I went and got that degree, and I hate to cook, but I'm a foodie with a very sophisticated palate. I will not eat at any restaurant that has a rating of 4.3 and below. And the reason why I'm specific about that number is because you were always going to compromise something. It's either going to be the experience, it's going to be the ambiance, the service, the food. Trust me, now, when you guys go out and if they have a rating below 4.3, guess what? And when I think recently, Alam, I'm gonna share this story. Michelle, Alam, and Bobby and I were out in the city, and we were trying to find a place to go eat. And I said, "What's the rating?" So Alan looks it up, and I think she said it was like a 4.1. And I was like, And so I was like, okay, I'll give it a try because you guys want to go. And then Alan started reading the reviews and they found like roaches in the food. Y'all see my point? Like, I do not eat at any restaurant below a 4.3. Now, if it's a taco truck in Mexico, that is the only place I do any compromising. Okay. Um, have I celebrated Dia de los Muertos since living in Mexico? So when we got to Mexico, August of last year, we moved. We started in Mexico City, and then we came to SMA in October 15th to be exact. And so we got to see how beautiful the city is, with the festivities in that time of year. I hadn't participated. It was my intent to go to the parade and to do all of the things, but SMA is really crowded around that time of year. Plus, we had just come off of our 2-month Mexico City catastrophe. So to be in a place where we could just like woosah, I really took advantage of the woosah. However, this year, it is my intent to partake in some festivities and to go to some parades and participate in Dia de los Muertos, which I've always thought was one of the most beautiful times in Mexico or just in general. It was just something that's really magical about it. So I'm looking forward to it. And one of the things about Mexico is they start decorating well in advance. They're not decorating like the day before or 2 days before. Like you see things weeks in advance in preparation. And Mexico City is actually another good spot for that because of just the abundance of floral arrangements. It's just the marigolds are everywhere. So it is my intention to. It is my intention to. Hey, Auntie. So I called you twice. I called you back twice. So this is another one. This is my mom's little sister. You called me twice when I was in meetings, so I couldn't respond right away. So I called you back and you ignored my calls. Do you guys see how I'm treated in the family? Just so you know. What'd you say? I love you. What, Elwanda and Tracy, how do you raise a niece with an attitude really that could use a slight adjustment? My attitude and my sass is just a part of my personality. So if you have never experienced me in person, you guys, I have a smart ass mouth, but not in a bad way. It's just I'm a very direct person. And I'm the only, well, there's two of us in my family who are like this, myself and my cousin Taryn. But I'm older than Taryn, so it's me. But my mouth has been a part of my life. I used to get sent to the principal's office in school, not even the principal's office, like the vice principal's office, because that's when you know you're in trouble. So I would go to the vice principal's office because of my mouth. I would just, and I'm not like the type of person because I won't cuss you out. I'm not that kind of person. However, I have in the past, there's two reasons that would warrant that kind of reaction from me. But otherwise, I'm pretty like mellow, low key. I just don't like BS. I'm not gonna talk around. I'm not gonna dance around points. I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm just gonna tell you like it is. And they're just, people don't like directness, and I'm just a direct kind of person. It can be abrasive, but it's also like my tone and my cadence in my speech that I just sometimes say to myself, girl, you need to put some honey on that tongue, which means you need to sweeten what you say. So it has always been a work in progress for me, but I don't think I will ever master the sweetness. But I'm also the kind of person that like with my friend group, Bobby is always the sweetest and the most demure and like, most, oh, woo, 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 that's Bobby. Alamis, she's a little bit more like me, but her speech and her smile will confuse you. So if y'all come and y'all hang out with us in San Miguel, peep what I'm saying with Alam. She's smart as shit. She's as cute as a button, but, and she has a quick wit. But she gonna say the same thing with me, but hers has honey. Now mine is just, if you work down this road, if you hit Bobby, then you hit Al, then you come to me. By the time you get to me, you getting what you deserve, because number one, I'm pissed off because you didn't listen to my sisters. Number two is I'm tired because we've been having a prolonged, unnecessary conversation. And number three, I'm just gonna tell you like it is so we can move on. So that is my attitude adjustment that will never fully be adjusted that she's talking about. Anything I want? Okay. See, right. Yeah. See, 2 years later, when I tell you raising parents, girl, I will be 50. In my mind, I'm like 50, kind of, sort of. But I will be 50 next year. No one tells you like aging, you're like raising your parents, because your parents revert to children. But the difference is they're stubborn. Like they're so stubborn. I don't understand that. Like we want what's best for them, but they feel they can just do whatever they want to without consequence. And I just don't understand that. Yeah. Um, okay, y'all are in here having a whole conversation. Uh, your mom is your mom is 81, and there's no talking to her about things like medical alerts. I'm gonna try tomorrow. I'm just gonna, y'all know, I'm gonna try tomorrow. Wanda says try tomorrow, so we're just gonna try tomorrow, and maybe one day I will have this, much needed conversation with her, because it's important when you have people who think they're grown and they living on their own, trying to live life and do all the things, but now they're starting to mess up. Now you messing up. So you need some guidance. Um, okay. Y'all in here having a whole conversation. So let's talk about this halo. Alan does this thing. This is supposed to be a Q&A, but Alan does this thing to where she puts a halo. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's always the sweet one. It's always like the people who have the halo, the invisible halo over their head. So she's talking about her halo, y'all. And then I can see her doing this. And then she smiles, and then you're like, oh, she's so sweet. But okay. How to do a scouting trip in a foreign country. So if you go to, I actually have a scouting trip guide that I need to make available again. I think I took that down. Um, I'll do an e-blast, you guys, this upcoming week with the Move Abroad Scouting Guide. And it's the same metrics that Honey and I used in our scouting trip abroad. So I will break it down in the guide. So if you guys are not on my mailing list, here's my website. I'm going to put it in the chat. Here's my website. I can hear you, Alan. There's a pop-up that you guys are going to see if you give it about 20 seconds on my website. Put your information there, and that way you'll be able to, if you're not already on my mailing list, you'll be able to download the Move Abroad the Move Abroad scorecard is what I call it. And so you'll have an actual PDF, and it's going to be free. You guys can have it. And I'm actually going to add more to it, add more content to it, because there's more, of course, when you live abroad, there's more value that I can add there. So that pop-up that you guys will receive is actually a business brand, like creating your business brand. So y'all getting a 2-in-1. So make sure you put your information there so you can get that. So to answer your question, how to do a scouting trip in a foreign country. First thing I want to say is pick at least 3 places where you want to go, and then put the tickets on an alert. So put, like with Google Flights or wherever you find your airline tickets, put it on an alert. Second thing, of course, what you guys already know, is I'm adjusting my fan because I hate when my glasses start to fog up. And I think it's because this light is in my face that I don't like. Hold on. Okay. The next thing is once you decide on where you want to go, you have your tickets on alert, and then you start doing your YouTube dive, and not doing a YouTube dive to like, oh, let's, see like the most popular content. It's really about, maybe cost of living, things that people don't like about certain areas, certain attractions, things that will give you more insight about said place that you are seeking to go. Once you book your trip, you're on the flight, you come to the city, what you should be considering is, of course, cost of living. And when we talk about cost of living, it's something that is subjective. It doesn't pertain to everybody as far as what you may like is your cost of living. Now, I will say this, and what we see on the other side of things is a lot of people try to recreate the life that they had in the States. And if you are seeking a different type of lifestyle, you have to be intentional about creating a different type of lifestyle. And people get caught up in trying to recreate the life that they had in the States. So if you are seeking to do that, then you're going to pay equal or sometimes more. And the reason for that is because it could be time of year, it could be customs, that when you buy certain things that are not necessarily available in your said area, it will cost more because of customs, and you may not necessarily get what you like, or the things that you used to have. So when you're doing a scouting trip, consider the cost of living. Also know, like, when you are scouting, are you coming in during a high season? Are you coming in during a low season? Because that is also going to impact your Airbnb or place where you stay, and the local prices, meaning the cost of food, the cost of Ubers and transportation. All of those rates go up during that time. So one of the things that I don't see people talk a lot about is natural disasters. Natural disasters is something that needs to be considered when you are moving abroad or when you are doing a scouting trip. Mexico specifically is a very seismic country. So you can potentially deal with a lot of natural disasters, contingent upon where you are. The closer you are to the coast, you will experience earthquakes and hurricanes. Coming inland, you will experience earthquakes and volcanoes. So think about where you are going and the natural disasters. SMA, fortunately, and Querétaro are nestled in mountains, so we're kind of shielded and protected from natural disasters, believe it or not. So that is something that I would recommend to consider. When you are scouting, you also want to think about the transportation. Are you going to drive? Are you going to drive your car? Are you bringing your car? Are you going to be, relying on public transportation? If you are looking in said neighborhoods, as far as not cost of, for rentals, how walkable is it? What kind of grocery stores and things that you're going to need every day? What is the banking system like? What kind of residency do you need to access some goods and services? Meaning, like, you need to have a residency to open up a bank account, things that will impact your day-to-day life. Also, utilities, the cost of utilities, how they do utilities, and how to pay said bills. So when you are scouting, it's very, very different from when you are vacationing. Vacationing is really about relaxation and leisure. When you're scouting, it's really about how can I experience, while I'm here, get the most of being abroad and get the living immersion experience. Then, of course, cultural difference, language barriers, the currency exchange rate. If you are considering a life abroad, depending upon where you want to go, you definitely want to pay attention to the exchange rate, because that is going to impact, money exchange, price, cost of goods and services. If you're operating, for us, we're operating on a USD, but we're paying in pesos. So contingent upon the exchange rate. And when we moved to Mexico City, it was in the 16 to 1. The dollar, and I'm sorry, the peso was 16 to 1. Now it's 19 to 1. We all crossing our fingers and toes that it's going to cross over that 20 to 1 mark, but it has yet to. So it's been in the 19s all of this week, I think. So since it's, coming upon the first of the month, it's rent time. It's a great time to get money out of the ATM. Here in Mexico, it is a very cash-based country. The majority of countries are cash-based abroad, especially like, the Black and brown countries. It's not about credit or doing things with a debit card transaction always. So making sure that, you can get your money out at a good time, at a good rate. Another thing to consider too is what I was about to say with banking. God, hopefully it'll come back to me. So hopefully that's a good thing. If you want the Move Abroad scorecard from me, make sure you add your information to the pop-up that comes up on my website, so that way you will be able to download it once I release it. Okay, you'll be in November. So you'll be coming off of Dia de los Muertos. Would love some leads on a tour guide. So Bobby does, Alan, can you do me a favor? Because I know you're on multiple devices. Can you drop Bobby's information here? She's aging grateful. If you are, you know what, I can't, never mind, because I can do that. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Well, maybe not. I'm gonna give you Bobby's information. She is aging grateful with her husband Ted, and Bobby actually does relocation tours. So give me a second. And you can book that on her website, and she will do that. And I know her and her real estate partner, you can also arrange for them to pick you up from the airport. Thank you, girl. I got it. From the airport too. So that's Bobby's information. I just dropped her link in the chat, and they will happily give you a guided tour. Yeah. Okay. Any big parks in SMA, and what about hiking trails? Yeah, so there's Benito Juarez Park, which is, it tends to be everybody's favorite. And there's another park that's in between Guadalupe and San Cecilia. I can't think of the name of that park too. But where they have all of the festivities is definitely Benito Juarez Park, and it's beautiful. It is in the Colonia of Guadiana, which is my favorite neighborhood here in SMA. Beautiful homes there. As far as hiking trails, I don't know them just yet. One of my hobbies, y'all, that I have yet to really dive into here is horseback riding. But now that the weather has cooled off, we're starting to see more horses back out on the streets. And then also, my friends gave me the name of a person who has a donkey sanctuary. And so I can go volunteer, and they have like over 100 donkeys there. So I will, I plan to go visit at some point, but I'm not sure about the hiking trails. Hey, Michelle. Are you taking Spanish lessons? Do you think it would be helpful for those moving to Mexico? I think any form of learning the language of where you are going, learning the language and being intentional about that. I am not taking Spanish lessons. And honestly, the only type of Spanish lessons that I'm interested in taking is the one that involves the locals, to where they is an hour of them speaking Spanish to you. It's conversational, and you speaking English to them because they want to learn English. So I think that is offered at the Biblioteca, which is the library, every Monday, I think. But that is the one. As far as learning the language, anything that you can do, even during your scouting trip, to immerse yourself in the culture and the language, because that is a part of your life. I went out earlier, I got my nails done, and I went to get tacos right across the street into the bakery, and then of course communicating with the service workers and things like that. There's a lot of things that I don't understand, but I'm able to successfully navigate around the city in Spanish without hiccup. And if I don't know, they probably see the look on my face and we figure out a way around it. What was my biggest fear? Realized moving abroad before, during, and after. My biggest fear was like, girl, did you make the right decision? Our experience in Mexico City, I keep referencing that because when we initially moved abroad, we thought we were going to live in Mexico City. I don't try to rehash that content. There is a video on my YouTube channel that speaks to why we left Mexico City. So please watch that. But my biggest fear was, did I mess up? That's another thing too about proximity. So when you are doing your scouting trips, consider proximity, getting back to your home country if need be and or necessary, because flights are, can be expensive. The airlines are still making up for COVID in 2020, and they are definitely price gouging. And we are nestled right in the middle for us. So I'm from Oakland, and then Honey is from Alabama, and we moved from Atlanta. We sold our home in Atlanta, and it's 3.5 hours each way nonstop. But it's easier. I'm not easy. It's cheaper for us to fly to the Bay, to Oakland specifically, than it is for us to fly to Atlanta. Atlanta, you're going to spend at least $700 to $800. Same flight time, everything. It could even be same airline, and then no, it's not the same airline. And then to Oakland, it can be like $300. So my biggest fear realized about moving abroad was, did I mess up? Did I make a mistake? Because we could not find a place in Mexico City. We were Airbnb-ing it for 2 months, almost to the day, and it was extremely expensive. From the month of August, from the time that we sold our house until I would say about November, we spent about $10,000 on Airbnb costs, and the bulk of that was in Mexico City because we kept getting told that we got places that we did not get because they were asking us for extenuating information. So that so with proximity, if I wanted to, I could, hop on a plane and be back in the States in 3 hours. But yeah, that was my biggest one. I ended up having a conversation with my mom about that too, y'all. And my mom, she was so supportive. She was like, honey, you didn't make a mistake. It's okay. Everything is gonna be fine. But it was really, really hard because I started to get depressed, and Honey started to get depressed, and Mahogany, our 19-year-old who was with us at the time, she started to get depressed. And when teenagers these days, these Gen Zs all they do is stay in a dark room. And I was like, I can't have that. So we took a chance and we came to San Miguel, sight unseen, because this was the one place that we did not scout. We wanted to see it, but it was the one place that we didn't scout, and we ended up falling in love with it. So, and our friends are our family now. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm just catching up, yeah. Okay. Um, what was your biggest fear that you really invested too much thought into? Oh, this is a good one, but was not an issue. Too much thought into, but was not an issue. Um, okay, I didn't have a fear. I'm the kind of because this is where being an entrepreneur and having been in the entrepreneurial space for so long works in your favor. You can't be a business owner and work for yourself without being a risk taker, and you learn along the way. So I was fine. It was honestly, I think Honey was the issue. She's very type A and has to be like everything has to be a certain way, but then she married somebody who is not like that. So it was her. It was her. And I would say, mm, Amazon. 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 Yeah, I think that was a concern, like getting access to things, especially in your new home country where it's not necessarily easily available. So the situation with Amazon, there is Amazon Mexico, but you have to look at custom fees. So we have a mailbox system that they you can order you can order something that could be sent to Laredo, Texas. They have their own custom space there, and then it's then shipped to here in Mexico to the mailbox location. Um, that piece I think was the hardest issue, but once she worked it out, she was able to see that she can get the things. But what it does is it teaches you, it gives you like a pause, and do I really need this? Because things are more can be more expensive because we're paying the custom fees. So if we're not getting it from Amazon US through Laredo, Texas, and if it's coming from Amazon Mexico, oftentimes the price difference can be easily 20 to 30% more because of you're paying the custom fees. You know what is a surprise? I'll tell y'all this. It's expensive to grocery shop. Oh my God. If you want to eat from the grocery store, baby, and you want your American treats here in San Miguel, it is expensive. I think just overall, of course, the cost of food, but yeah, the prices on food in the grocery store have gotten so expensive lately. So I think that was something that I was surprised about lately. Yeah, I never thought about natural disasters. Absolutely. You have to think about those natural disasters when visiting. Yep, when you're not vacationing, you are scouting. Total different experience. Okay. Oh, what about having a Vespa or a mobile scooter? Okay. Do people drive crazy? Not here in San Miguel de Allende. People don't drive crazy because San Miguel is smaller and they're cobblestones. So they'll go over the cobblestones, pretty aggressively, but they don't drive crazy. Crazy is Mexico City. You can definitely here in SMA, you see people getting around on ATVs. You see cars, of course, and ATVs, scooters, cars, and horseback. Those are the main ways and of course the bus, and taxis, of course. But you can absolutely have a scooter here. It's a part of the culture. And for me, that was a beautiful thing. Even though I was born and raised in the city, I'm actually a country girl at heart. So being able to, see like a slower pace of life and different modes of transportation, especially the horses, like when horses walk down our street, is just I mean, that's one of the sweet things that I love about San Miguel. Oh, child. What about the tax situation? Okay, so if you guys don't know, we are doing a Move to Mexico conference, and I dropped the link in the description. And it's a virtual conference, November 1st through the 3rd. One of the specialists that we have, or the talk that's taking place, is somebody an attorney who, I'm not an attorney, he's a tax professional that specializes in expat taxes. That's all he does. And so, what about the tax situation in Mexico? Um, you know the US is going to get their money off the top. So the tax situation, if you have your RFC and if you are earning money in pesos, you definitely have to pay taxes. Michelle is better at that than I am. However, because she has an operating business here in Mexico as far as the Casa Elma is concerned. But if you guys want tax information, this is actually go to the link in my to the description of this video, and the Move to Mexico conference. I can also drop the link here. Is happening November 1st through the 3rd, and his name is Randall. He's a tax professional that specializes in expat taxes only, and he is one of the speakers for the event. As far as like, child, don't talk to me about U.S. taxes because me and the IRS team seem to be like, okay, let me say this to y'all. Part of moving abroad, if you do have a business, or one of the things that you can do is you can change domiciles. So if you are in a tax state, so I come from Georgia and California where there's state income tax, you can change your domicile totally and go to a tax free. They don't have state income taxes like Florida, like Texas. People do South Dakota to minimize your tax liability. That is a consideration. It does, it is something that you definitely have to plan and look into and make sure that you go through the process to get that done. But that is one of the things that people do in moving abroad to minimize the tax liability. So yeah. Okay. Hey. Okay. Oh my God, I gotta catch up. Oh yes, please don't forget to like the video. I always forget that, you guys. Me and TikTok are not TikTok. Me and YouTube. I think we're in an abusive relationship. I do. I think me and YouTube are in an abusive relationship. So can y'all like help a sister out and like the video, please, please, because I swear it's y'all that make me keep showing up. It's y'all. Hey, Nichelle. Do I know anyone that used South Dakota as a residency option? I just spoke about that. So I know them. I actually do. I know them. They're Expatsy. So if you go on TikTok or expatsy.com, but they if you follow her on TikTok, but I'm gonna drop her website here. It's a husband and wife team. It's Brett and Jen, and they moved from Birmingham, Alabama. They moved, crap, where are y'all? They moved from Birmingham, Alabama to Merida, Mexico, and they changed domiciles. And so they're now registered in the state of South Dakota. So I actually do. And as of this week, y'all, I don't think the information is up, and you guys are kind of the first to know. I am officially the San Miguel consultant for Expatsy. They have consultants all over the world. And right now they are on a scouting trip, or they're leaving today to Portugal and Spain. And they do wonderful work, a lot of information, up-to-date information, healthcare, residency, real estate, and they partner with all kind of people around the world to support their audience. And they're on their second scouting trip this weekend to Portugal and Spain. So, and I am officially their San Miguel consultant. We worked that out this week, so I know that information will be up. But they also cover a wide variety of information when it comes to healthcare abroad. So if you are not following them, I would definitely recommend following them. They're great on TikTok. If you are on TikTok, that is a great way to just have like real exposure to them, but their website is extremely comprehensive as well. I know, right? Hey girl, hey. Live for a dark room. What does that mean? Okay, maybe it's something y'all said. Sorry, I'm in South Dakota for a U.S. address when you live abroad. See, yeah, they allow you to use, yeah. Bugs. Bugs. Also, one of the things that I don't do, there's two things that I'm afraid of. You will see me run out of the house. Rats and maggots. Maggots Maggots, oh my God. Oh my God. Maggots gross me out. They are controllable. Mexico, here, at least in San Miguel, they have, pest control, which is fantastic. You definitely have to be out of the house for a couple of hours after they spray, but once they spray, you're good, and you can get it done quarterly, which is something that we do. We recently had a termite issue in our house. There's a lot of wood in our house, and they were in both of our closets. It was in mine worse than Honey's closet. Honey and I don't share a closet. We've never shared a closet, now that I think about it. But anyway, so we the owner had somebody come out and take care of it. We haven't seen them since. And that's one of the things that I do like about it. There are certain things that are protected though. So near our house or at our house, we have bats. They come out at night, and you can see them fly as it gets dark. We can see them fly in the backyard. They can't do anything about that because they are a protected species. But we see like the droppings the next morning. But yeah, bugs and rodent. I mean, it's just a part of life. It's just, it's Mexico, and there's a lot of wildlife. No matter where you go throughout the country, I've seen iguanas in the street. I absolutely love iguanas. I think iguanas are one of the most beautiful creatures. They're cool as shit. They slow, they mind their business, and they stop, and then they just relax and luxuriate. But it freaks people out because to some people they're not the cutest things, and they'll just be walking down the street. It's just a part of the culture. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, definitely check out Expatsy. They are a wonderful resource. Brett and Jen, they do a really, really good job. So I think I got all the questions, unless you guys have more questions. Let me see. Hold on, unstar something. You're welcome. I don't know who's texting me right now. I know it's not my mom because she is in here. Um, that's my week, y'all. Let me see what else. We've been really inundated with getting the Move to Mexico conference going. Um, of course, work related things and just living life. So it was kind of nice to have like a light conversation with you guys tonight, um, to give you guys a little bit more insight into my mind and how I think and just my experiences. Brussels, we talked a lot about Mexico. I guess we did. I guess that's what you guys wanted to know. But my favorite place, honestly, you guys, my favorite state in Mexico is Quintana Roo still. Now, Guanajuato is beautiful. I would say Guanajuato would be the second. So, and I live in the state of Guanajuato, which is in central Mexico. But my favorite state is Quintana Roo. And Quintana Roo consists, and I've been all throughout Quintana Roo. So it consists of Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, and we went to Bacalar earlier this year in May. And Bacalar is absolutely beautiful. It's on the border of Belize. And what makes Quintana Roo my favorite is because it's the climate that I love. I love tropical weather, and it's the water. So it's the Caribbean Sea. So I don't know what made me think about that, but I always can't wait. And one of the places that I don't like Cancun. Cancun was designed and created for tourism, and they definitely live up to it. There's two parts of Cancun, the tourist side and then everything else. And it seems like everything else is like almost neglected to some degree. I don't know. Cancun is really, really touristy. But when you start, going down south, I mean, you can't beat the water. It's just beautiful. And then there's Puerto Alventuras, there's Puerto Morelos, there is Acamal. There's all these little towns in between those major towns that you're used to hearing that are really sweet too, that people don't really talk much about. You are welcome. You are welcome, Tanya. Um, um, if I had to pick another place outside of the United States, where would it be? Costa Rica. I love Costa Rica. Every day in my head, I'm in Costa Rica still. So mine. My hope and plan and prayer is to have a place here in Mexico and a place in Costa Rica as well. That is my plan. I love Costa Rica. It's all of the nature for people who are you the nature girlies in the house who love plants and anything tropical, and just land and just natural food and the waterfalls and the fruit. The cuisine is not the best. It's very, very bland. Not very, very bland, but it's not Mexican cuisine. I can't live anywhere where I don't like the food. It's not the best. It's very, very simple cuisine, but it's something beautiful about Costa Rica. That is a country where I know Honey and I want to spend a considerable amount of time there, and we plan to tour the whole country. I think you can tour Costa Rica because it's so small. In 2 weeks, you can hit the entire country. The problem with Costa Rica is the infrastructure is not there. I mean, people live there, but it's very, very rural in most places. And I didn't like San Jose. San Jose was nothing but city. I was in and out of San Jose, because we went to the Caribbean side, which is in Puerto Viejo. But I definitely want to go to La Fortuna to and also to the Pacific side. So I've been to the Caribbean side. Now I want to go to the Pacific side, but I definitely want to hit La Fortuna. And we have friends who are going there for a couple of months at the end of the year. So that would be my second place. And my plan, my prayer, my goal is to have a second place, and I will spend time in Mexico and in Costa Rica. I love nature. I love toucans are my favorite birds. And I'm not really a bird person, but to see a toucan and the beautiful beak and the colors, oh my God. And when we were in Costa Rica, we saw a bat getting eaten by a toucan. But it's just so beautiful over there. No. Hey, Bella. What's up, my latecomers? No worries, no worries. We're sitting up here just chopping it up. Have I been to Cuenca, Ecuador? No, I have not. Honestly, I'm not interested in going to Ecuador at all. I mean, I will go, but it's not on my list at all. Reason being, honestly, you guys, is because I don't want to deal with higher altitude. The highest altitude I've been to is in Mexico City. It's 7,200 feet above sea level. I have a heart condition, and I don't need to put any stress on my heart, any undue stress on my heart. My heart is healthy, it's good, it's strong. I've never taken any kind of medication. I was born with a rare condition called tetralogy of Fallot, and which means I was born without a pulmonary valve. So when I was 2, they gave me an artificial valve, open heart surgery, artificial valve. And then when I was 21, that valve gave out and they had to replace it, and they replaced it with human tissue. Still to this day, I'll be 49 in October. I've been completely healthy. EKGs are great, echoes are great. I'm not on any kind of medication, but being in high altitude, it makes me, the air is thin. So I'm like, and my chest feels impacted. And so I am not interested in going to Ecuador. However, there is a vlogger that I absolutely love. It's a Black girl, and her boyfriend or partner that live in Cuenca, I think. And they have a beautiful vlog. She drops the videos every Sunday. And just the content of her vlog and how she films is, if I knew the name of her channel off the top of my head, I would definitely drop it in the chat. But just Google Cuenca, Ecuador, and hopefully she'll come up. The way she films, I mean, people just watch, and she doesn't even really talk in the video. She just always has words at the bottom, and she gives you the experience of wanting to kind of really just immerse yourself in the culture. But so I get my Ecuador feels from her. Yeah. Um, yes, 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 you can. Yeah, the altitude. So people who have any kind of heart or any kind of condition, you definitely have to consider the altitude. See, again, people don't think about those kind of things or not necessarily know. And we actually got altitude sickness. Honey was worse than me. When we were our first time in Mexico City, my mom got altitude sickness being here in San Miguel, and San Miguel is 6,200 feet above sea level, and Mexico City is 7,300 feet above sea level. I'm from the Bay Area. I was born and raised at the water, and Honey's from Alabama, so we've always been at sea level. So when you make that adjustment, your body goes through a change and having to get adjusted. Altitude sickness feels like you have COVID or like you have the flu. And Honey was throwing up, and I mean, we had to test her for COVID. And then it dawned on me then that it was altitude sickness. I didn't get it as bad, but there were certain I felt it immediately. The moment we landed, I felt just my chest was just concaved in. It was a mess. But your body takes about 3 to 4 days to get adjusted. It doesn't affect everybody, but it's something to consider when you are doing your scouting trip or when you're considering, moving and being that high up. I would not. Do I plan to go to Belize? No, not really. Belize, from what I'm hearing, I think Bacalar is good for me. I don't plan to visit Belize at all. Um, I mean, I can because it's right there, but I think Belize, from what I've heard, is very, very touristy. And also, like, the tourist parts are very made up, and the parts that are not impacted by tourism is very, very rural and desolate. And people that have went to Belize thinking that they were going to live there have left, that I know. So it's not simple. And I don't think Belize offers much variety. One of the beautiful things about living here in Mexico, there's something for everybody. There's a climate for everybody. There's a place for everybody. The food is amazing. And and what else? And the culture is like none other. I still binge watch content on YouTube and TikTok about Mexico. Like I'm like absolutely in love with the country. Um, how can I have the professional look and the disposition as you? So when I'm in my Auntie, you so funny. The professional look, don't let the glasses fool you. I wear glasses on looking at the computer because of the glare. I don't necessarily think I have a professional look. If you hang out with me, I'm more of a relaxed, casual dress kind of girl. But my disposition is, I don't know. I think I try to think analytically when it comes to the business side of me. Um, well, I have to think analytically. And honestly, y'all, can I be honest with y'all? Me in my business, and this is why another reason why I did not want to do that topic that I initially had scheduled was because when I'm in my business mind, I'm in my masculine, and I don't want to be in my masculine all the time. That was part of the reason why, I sold my company. And I don't want to live there. And so tonight I needed to just kind of just be me. So for me, one of the hardest things now is really trying to balance my life with business and just personal. We're past the honeymoon stage. We have been here, we live here, and we're not trying to be out and about and do all the touristy things. So, finding that balance of like being in your element, but then also getting that relaxation and rest that I deserve. But in my business, you know why? Because I don't have time for bullshit. So when you see that disposition, it's like we're gonna get to the point we're gonna take care of business and we're gonna do some things. Otherwise, I'm not the person you want to deal with. And get you to where you need to go. And that's a lot of that because I love seeing women win. And I love seeing Black women win in particular because I understand how hard it is. If you guys did not catch the video that I did this past week, go back and watch it. It is about being a high value woman. And I'll be doing more content like that. My goal is to drop at least one video like that a week. I already have my next one scheduled. Um, yeah. And so I don't know, y'all. Well, I tell y'all, I'm emotionally lazy. I'm ask Elwanda. I ask Honey. I'm very emotionally lazy, and I think part of that for me, y'all, is a protective. I know part of it is a protective mechanism. I came into this world literally with a broken heart. So I'm very protective of my heart, and I'm very loyal. If I love you, I'm loyal. I'm loyal. I ain't no fool, but I'm extremely loyal. So I tend to it takes a lot to rile me. It takes a lot to get me there. So I'm not easily moved by things. And it's because I have a tendency to be very nonchalant just in my personality. But it's because, I've had certain experiences. If you want to know those experiences, you really got to buy that book, because that book was really hard for me to write. It took me 2 years to get that book out. And it was a process that honestly you don't know until you know. And so to learn more about why I am the way that I am is actually in that book. And I talk about just childhood experiences, ups and downs, single motherhood, teenage pregnancy, and then eventually creating my company. Um, yeah. So I don't know if that was the answer to your question. Yeah, Elwanda in the house. Okay, hold on. Okay. My partner and I are driving from Houston. Good. Janae, who's luxury vagabonds from Houston. We have other friends from Houston. Do I recommend this? I haven't driven, but Dee is in here, and I'm sure she's probably already seen your question. But she actually has driven from Atlanta to Mexico multiple times. If you plan to have your car, then I would say absolutely, but there are certain things that you have to have in place, like the tip paperwork. And then also make sure that you are in the Facebook group Driving in Mexico. I think it's something really simple like that, but it talks about all of the routes and things that are going on. And then people are really active in that Facebook group. Like, how likely are we to have trouble with the cops or a car being taken? I say very unlikely. I think very unlikely. I don't know anybody that has had any personal experiences that are bad, but Dee, who's in here, who's Brown Girls Invest too, she is absolutely the one to talk to about driving in Mexico and driving from your home country down into home state down into the country itself. Also, you know who drove too, and they drove from Alabama. No, yeah, they drove from Alabama all the way down to Merida, is expatsy Brett and Jen. So they drove as well. My skincare is flawless. Thank you. I don't think so. I've never been one of those people to have issues with my skin. However, I did have like really dark circles under my eyes when we moved abroad. And then, of course, living in the States, and it was really due to stress. And I don't want to say the lack of sleep, but I have a tendency, even still to this day, I have a tendency to wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be up until like 5:30 in the morning, or sometimes even 6 o'clock, and then I'll go back to sleep. So I would say sleep is definitely the key factor with that. Less stress is another key factor with that. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't give a shit about a lot. I don't. I don't let things stress me out if I can help it. Um, yeah. There's a lot of things that I don't care about, and I think people exert too much energy on unnecessary bullshit. And I just choose not to be one of those people, because if it's not impacting my day to day life or my life in that very moment, and it's not imminent, then it can wait. And I know that has a lot to do with looking younger than the actual age that I am. Um, yeah, and I also think it's important to have friends who are younger than you and older than you. I've always been a person to gravitate towards older, wiser women. But I also like my children who are in their 20s, they're like some of the coolest people. And so I always say I want to look like your sister, not your mama. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see y'all talking to each other. Uh, uh, but what touristy things do I recommend asking for a friend? She's so cute to me. So, Touristy things for San Miguel de Allende. You definitely have to go to the Parroquia in Central at night. You can go during the day, but at night is better because the Parroquia is lit up. It is absolutely beautiful. And now we're getting ready to go into the holiday season. So they have lights that change the color of the Parroquia at night in real times because of the festivities that happen. Also, I love the mariachi band, and mariachi is out there every night singing and serenading people. And there's like, up to three, sometimes even more different bands playing at once. And that's actually one of my favorite things to do here. You can just go and listen and sit in the park, and it's free. Here in San Miguel Touristy, I don't know. There's La Gruta, which is the hot springs. There's another hot springs here called, oh crap, I can't even think of the name. There's another hot springs here. Honestly, here in San Miguel, bring some really great walking shoes. And because of the cobblestones, you want to make sure that you have your feet covered and that you have comfortable shoes. But it's so beautiful that you just walk and just look and at the colors of it. Let me see what else is some good touristy things to do. Get on a plane for inexpensive and go to different parts of the country. We'll be in Oaxaca in March, which I'm excited about because of the Black Blossom retreat. This is a luxury experience that Michelle and I have started for Black women specifically. So that link is in the bio. And I'm excited about that because Honey will, and I will be leaving probably like a week and a half early before we need to be at the hotel, which is on the beach in Oaxaca, just outside of Huatuco. And we will be in Oaxaca City. So I'm excited to explore that. And of course, the Oaxacan cuisine. And then I plan to, all fingers crossed, go to what am I trying to say? It's called San Jose del Pacifico. I think that's the name of the town, but it is a magic mushroom town. And yes, you can partake in mushroom experiences with shamans and things like that, but it's also very mountain-esque. And this, you can get a cabin and you can overlook the mountains. And so I want to have that experience while I'm there. And it's right in between Oaxaca City and Puerto Escondido. And they just implemented the road to lessen the travel time for straight from Oaxaca City to Puerto Escondido. So that is an experience that I'm hoping to have before I actually get to Huatuco to the retreat. But yeah, that's what, as far as San Miguel, I don't know. I think my brain has moved away from like the touristy things to do because there's a ton because, Travel and Leisure has just listed San Miguel as the number one place to relocate. So we are actually not looking forward, the people who live here, we're not looking forward to this high season that we're getting ready to embark upon because low season is absolutely beautiful. Everything changes, everything goes up. The cost of taxis and Ubers go up. The streets are so crowded, it just becomes a lot. Those are my librarian glasses. That's because of the glare. Let me see. Let me see what else. Yes, I can't wait to go to Nice. Nice is on my list. I am not interested in Paris whatsoever. We have friends who are currently in France right now, and they may be on their way back to the States, but friends who he is buying a property in the south of France. So since we are planning a European trip next year, Honey wants to go to Paris. I am not interested in Paris, but get me to Nice, and I want to go to Monaco and have that experience. So I cannot wait to go to Dublin, Ireland, the Netherlands. We're going to hit all of the spots, but Nice is on my list. Yes. Y'all in here having a whole conversation. Really, Mom? Okay. Oh, I have ice cream in the thing. I had tacos earlier, y'all. Okay, let me see. Yeah, she actually does. I totally agree. I think that would be very beneficial to people because people are driving throughout the country and they need to see like Black people are driving because I don't even think that there are a lot of or any Black YouTubers that document and talk about their experience driving in the country. Like specifically the experience of driving from the States into Mexico itself. Okay. Y'all having this whole driving conversation. I got your G's. Okay. Do I have any advice that I would give to my younger self? Honestly, my younger self, I would say don't have kids. And I tell my kids don't have kids. So they won't be surprised that I'm saying this if they were to ever see it. My younger self, I would say don't have kids. I would say don't prolong getting married because I think companionship is good. I actually am married to my best friend. If you want to be married, because some people don't want to be married, but I would definitely say don't have children and don't do anything that is going to tie you down. And I would also say follow your dreams. For me, I wasn't able to, or I didn't because I had my first daughter at 17 years old, and it derailed what I saw myself doing with my life. Um, so I'm able to explore my creativity differently. And that's a part of the reason butterfly effects, she said this to me. She was like, you're always creating something. And part of the reason why I'm able to like create businesses is because it's part of my level of creativity. That's a way I can get my creative energy out. I just so happen to love business strategy too. But I would say don't do it. I would definitely say travel the world. What else would I say? And you're always right. Now you're always right, but follow your gut. Follow your gut. Don't let anybody let you second guess yourself, because it's when we don't follow our intuitive guide is when we go wrong. So I would teach and tell our younger girls or my younger self, you absolutely have to follow your gut. Your gut will never lead you wrong, ever. So that's what I would say. Don't get married, don't have kids, or not don't get married, but get married later if you choose to. Don't have children at all because they're expensive as shit. And fuck, it's the ultimate sacrifice, honestly. I love my kids, but I tell my kids I don't want them to have kids because I want them to live their life to the fullest. And I don't want them to have any kind of obligation that ties them to anything or anybody. I want them to be free. So that is what I would say. That's a really good question. Y'all came with some good questions. Y'all, okay, you asking luxury vagabond. Okay, okay. Let me see. Y'all, okay, y'all indeed having these questions and talking about New York, Monaco. Oh, okay. See, okay. Are there any LGBTQIA gatherings that this? No, there aren't any because there isn't that many of us. There's them, but there's not that many of us. And the beautiful thing here, honestly, Bella, though, is that our folks, they don't even care. That is not, and I understand that question because you want to be able to have shared experiences with people that you have things in common with. I get that. But the beautiful thing about this is, and I know Dee can attest to this too, if you, they have gatherings here in Mexico, I'm sorry, in San Miguel de Allende, but they are white centered, the LGBTQIA. But because the Black population isn't big, Honey and I still are the only Black lesbian couple here that live in San Miguel that I know of. If there's more, please let me, because I don't think there are. We are the only one. I do know people who are coming and planning to move here, but we are still the only couple here. And yeah, but when you'll see when you come, it's just Jay and Tracie. Like we like everybody else, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it because our group, at least our core group of friends and people that we are connected with, nobody cares, and I understand that the protectiveness of the circle, but the core group is they also protect the circle, and that's the men, who are married to the girls and me and Honey. It's a sweet space for that. I will say, and I just saw like a recommendation for a YouTube video. But when I tell you community is everything, I didn't think, oh, this is for Yolanda, because she asked me one thing that I didn't think about that ended up surprising me is the community connection, or how much we needed to survive abroad. I did not realize that. I have the community now that I prayed for in the States. And so when you are moving abroad, creating community is everything. And it is going to require people to step outside of their comfort zone. Um, like step outside of their comfort zone. They are, you're putting yourself in a new place and space amongst new people. But that, my dears, is going to be your saving grace, because we've had experiences here, like when our stove blew up, right, with me standing right there. And like, I'm calling on community. I called Michelle right in that moment, um, because I knew she had, of course, had been here way longer than us, and having the connections to the people to help and resources to help you like navigate that. And we were able to do it. She did provide us with somebody, but we were able to work that out. But I'm saying you're going to call on your community more than you realize. And then also, my folks just comes, they'll come sit at my house and or our house, and honey will make sweet potato pies, and she's made pound cakes, and she's blended fresh natural juices, and she's made golden milk, and everybody just sits around the table and we just talk and eat and have those shared experiences. And part of it is like you're in a new country, you want to get out and meet other people in who are native to the country. Yes, but I also realized in this experience is I never had what I have now as far as community is concerned. So I'm relishing in that as well. And people are like, why would you get abroad and like gravitate towards your own people? And it's because for me, I never had it in the States. And the people that I know that our group never had it either. So we tend to kind of not necessarily nestle, because we love getting out and being amongst everybody else and the people, but we definitely make it a point to get together with each other. That was a good question. Uh yes, Amsterdam. Yes. Yeah. Are there any of us in SMA and screen are so as far as how do you know that part? Okay. So to answer your question, I don't specifically know that it's not connected. I know there's always workshops and things that are happening here in San Miguel. And there's something called Discover SMA. So if you type that in Google, there it's a guide that will give you all the things that are happening in San Miguel at any given time. So Discover SMA, I think .com. And you can look up anything that's happening, classes and events and parades, all the things that's there. So I don't know as far as so there's choirs, there's theaters, there's not theaters. I mean, yes, theater, but like theatrical arts, like plays and things like that that take place. So when we first got here, I think at the end of the year last year or the top of this year, Doubt was one of the plays that was going on during that time. So there are things that you can get involved in, and also connecting with the Biblioteca too. I know they have other things going on. And then there's always festivals. There's always San Miguel. To me, San Miguel is like Atlanta. There's always something going on. So if you want to be in the trenches of doing everything, then you can. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. So to answer your question in the short of it, yes, look at Discover SMA, and they will be able to help you. Good night, darling. Yes, the husbands are husbands of SMA. Yes, yes, that's what they are called. That's what we call them. Um, Oh, oh yeah, 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 there is. Plus you have the singing, the singers. Yeah. So what's Mona Lisa? Mona Lisa is that Mona Lisa. She does paint and sip. She does that. Mona Lisa lives in Querétaro, but she also comes here to San Miguel. She does the paint and sip. Also, get in the Black SMA group if you on Facebook if you're not already in there, because certain events get listed there too. Um, could I recommend a must restaurant for your experience here? Ooh. Come on, y'all, help me with this one. A must restaurant. So We have our favorites that we tend to go to, but you want like the experience of like being, I would say Kinsey, which is Quince, and that's in Central. It's right. I mean, the food is okay. It's cool. It's above a 4.3. I think. I would not recommend going to 1810. The food was horrible. It was horrible, but the view was amazing because it's right at the Paroquia. Yes, definitely Los Malagos. Terraza is one of our favorite spots. It's an absolutely beautiful view. The food is great. They give you a ton of food. Yeah, this would be my number one. And actually, I actually still like Los Malagos. Terraza. There's two. There's Los Malagos, and that is in Central. Don't go to that one. Go to Terraza. That is up high, has one of the best views of the Paroquia and just San Miguel in general. So I would definitely recommend that. Don Felix is good. So Tacos Don Felix is definitely good. They will make you feel at home. And they do. They say welcome home when you come. We absolutely love them over there. I would recommend Tacos Don Felix. Yeah, Kinsey. Yeah. So those are the ones that I would recommend. And let me see where else. There's plenty of restaurants here, but it's a couple of things with that. It's like you're gonna pay tourist prices. So the trick is, or the key is, we like Francesco's, which is an Italian restaurant, and excuse me, y'all, they have like specials that during the week that happen. So like on Tuesdays, which is the night that we like to go, is it's like you can order two pasta dishes for the price of one. Another night is like you can get two pizzas for the price of one. It's a good restaurant. The service is always consistent and great. It's Italian food. I never liked Italian food until moving to Mexico, because Mexicans can cook their ass off and they make great Italian food. So I would recommend that. But the trick is you don't necessarily always want to spend tourist prices or to have a good dining experience. So yeah, but you definitely want to have the experience coming here. So if you want to go be near the Paroquia and get the view, I would recommend Kinsey. And they have like a guy who walks tightrope. They have a really great DJ. Customer service is always great, and the ambiance is good. But if you want like more of a Mexican feel, definitely Tacos Don Felix. And if you want like a whole bunch of food with a little bit of both, like scenery and the Mexican feel, it will be Los Malagos Terraza. Okay. All right. This is the last question from Mom. When I come back, I can eat whatever I want. No. Again, perfect exit. Do you see? This is a perfect exit for this video. All right, you guys, thank you guys so much for joining me on a relaxed Friday Night Live video. I said I did not want to talk about business. I just didn't want to do any of that. And check the links down below. Make sure, if you want to get my Move Abroad scorecard that I will be updating and releasing this week, you go to my website, put your name, go and put your information in the pop-up box that comes up, and that way you will be able to, so I just dropped the link to my website. You will be able to get the Move Abroad scorecard when I release the updated version next week. Okay. For people who are doing a scouting trip, planning a scouting trip, and the things that you need to consider. All right. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. And thank you guys so much. Please be sure to like this video. Please be sure to share this video. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Oh, it's Labor Day weekend for y'all in the States. All right, y'all. Bye. Yes, join the Relax Tribe. Good night, you guys.